Welcome back. The markets are a bit somber, but they found some support at that 8145 mark, and that gives us some breathing space to look at longer term issues, to look at corporates not just by their P&L of the quarter or the balance sheet of the year, but what their plans are in terms of Gen Next and whether they have a professional or a promoter in place to take over the baton from the existing promoters. I have with me Mr. Habil Khorakiwala, the founder, chairman and group CEO of Wockhardt Group, that is, and along with him we have Mr. Khorakiwala, managing director of Wockhardt. Zahabia Khorakiwala, she's at the far end of the table. She is the managing director of Wockhardt Hospitals, and Huzaifa Khorakiwala, the CEO, Wockhardt Foundation. Now CSR is big business, so we have all the three Gen Next of the Khorakiwala family with us. Gentlemen and lady, thank you very much for joining us. The Descendants, as we call this series, is very important to us because investors are always investing for 10, 15 years and would like to know how the Gen Next or how the next 15 years look like for the company. Well, Mr. Khorakiwala, first up, there are two ways in which the baton can be handed over. It can be handed over to a professional CEO, or it can be handed over to a promoter who's as good as a professional. You've clearly chosen that it will be Murtaza or Zahaya who are going to take over the operations. A professional, like, at some point in time it looked like the Ranbaxy Singhs would give it to a professional. That is not the way you want to go.
No, I think the word professional we have to understand in terms of a practice, rather than it is coming from a family or otherwise. So what we are trying to combine is a professional approach of doing business on one hand, and then the entrepreneurship, because each one of them is qualified fully as a professional in their own areas. Like they are all management graduates. Murtaza has done medicine also. So I don't like to segregate between a professional and non-professional. So I think how you run your organization is an important one. And if you have entrepreneurship, the vibrancy of business is always there. There is more of risk-taking, the more of innovation, more of creativity in the organization.
No, I take your point. It's not as if in India the promoter-run families are not professional, and it is not as if non-promoter companies have been all that professional. I take your point on that, but Murtaza, you have to come in on that. Since you take over, or you already taken over as the managing director of Wockhardt Limited, does this interest you? The Singh brothers chose to do finance and didn't want really much of pharmaceuticals. Is your heart in pharmaceuticals and not in, I believe you had an IT company earlier, your heart is not in anything else?
Actually, after I did my 12th standard, I made a decision at that time itself to get into the healthcare and the pharmaceutical sector, because at that time I went into medicine. And so very early on, actually, I had made up my mind to get into the pharma sector.
It is your passion?
It is my passion, and I think over the last 15 years that I've been in the company, it is something that I've really enjoyed and I've grown during the period. And yeah, it's my passion and my life today.
It would be tough for him to say otherwise, right?
Not really. You will not believe, I have given my children the option, and all of them chose after their graduation different things to do in life other than healthcare.
No, I'm sure, for a company that has grown 30 times in its revenues in the last 10 years, who would not like to be a part of that company? So I'm sure it's the right choice we've made. But guys, good morning to all of you. Mr. Khorakiwala, I want to start off with you. Of course, all of you are Mr. Khorakiwala, but I'm going to start with you, sir. It's been a growth from, I think, 150 crore revenues in 1993 when you started, and now close to 5,000 crores. This is in a span of about 10 years or so. In the next 10 years, where do you see Wockhardt?
I think every 10-12 years we have transformed ourselves. 10-12 years back we were more of an Indian companies, now we are global companies. We invest in research considerably over the last 10-15 years. So I think next 10-12 years there will be a major transformation of our organization. From what we are already a global company with more than 70% revenue worldwide. So I think with the investment we are doing in research, and I think one would see us more and more as innovative company, having research as a major dimension of our growth coming forward. We'll have our new drugs hopefully in the world market in next several years. So that is the kind of transformation which will take place.
Okay. Actually, I want to develop that point. You know, you were very big in specialities and vaccines and biosimilars, but somewhere along the way it's fallen by the wayside. Are you still nurturing a dream that you will get back to specialities, to research?
Yes, of course. We have about 800 scientists. We have 3 research centers, and we are focusing on insulin and its analog, the biosimilar, in a global sense. So we will be a significant player. The other important aspect we intend to do in terms of research, having based globally, we intend to take our products and portfolio in Western market, primarily the US, ourselves. So it's not only we will go through regulatory channel and get products approved, but we'll market it ourselves. So we'll be capturing the entire value chain of what we are doing.
Fair enough. Murtuza, I want to get you in on this. You know, in 2008, it was a very bad period for the company. I mean, the financial health of the company deteriorated quite a bit. What is that one decision that you and your entire team took that helped bring the company out of the brink of bankruptcy? And on the flip side, what is the one decision that you regret the most?
Well, I think that was the year actually my father appointed me as a managing director.
Okay.
And that is the year I had my first son. So it was both a challenging time as well as a very enjoyable, pleasurable time for me. But I think what really worked for us as an organization is the team that we have. And the team that has been built over the years, very committed and very passionate and very belong to the organization. So I think the team was intact. That was one part of it. And second is the financial crisis that we had was more of a financial crisis. It was not a business crisis. So from an operational point of view, from business point of view, things were working well and the profitability was good. So that helped us come back maybe in a very short period of time, 1 year time we were back, and then we were out of CDR in 2 years time. So it was one of the fastest, I think, resurrections from the CDR process.
Oh yes, it was. I'll come to that in just a minute. We just have some compelling news coming on Hindalco, and this was least expected. The special court has rejected the closure report of the Hindalco coal allocation case and has actually asked that the former coal minister's statement be recorded. This is a big blow for Hindalco. It did look like finally that Mr. Parak Kumar Mangalam issue will be put to rest. This comes as a bolt from the blue, and that stock is down now 6%. A statement of former coal minister should be recorded. So if it would be only Sri Prakash Jaiswal, it would stop at that. But if it goes back to the Prime Minister, this could get some ugly overtones and pull down many personalities, or at least mire them in controversies for a longish bit. This is not looking good, and this is not coming from administrators or from CBI. It's coming from the court, so it could have a fairly longish impact on the company. This is clearly troubled news. Now down 10 rupees, Hindalco 6.5 down. I think it's not going to stop in a hurry. This is really bad news for the company. Well, I'm sorry we have to get to these news developments, more important for us. But actually, exactly what Sonia was asking, that was perhaps an aberration, an adventure into financial engineering which did not pay back, did not pay up the FCCBs and the derivative instruments. But the US FDA challenges that have come on Chikalthana and Waluj plants are intrinsic to your business, Mr. Khorakiwala. Is that not a very big challenge? Where are you in the whole picture? Do you think the clouds will clear in a quarter or 2 quarters? I mean, how did that mistake even happen?
Let me tell you this. This is something which has happened about 15-18 months back, and we have more or less resolved, according to us, all issues. We have been keeping regulators informed from time to time by a regular report, and in fact we have requested US FDA to come and visit us anytime now onwards. We are fully ready. In fact, NHRA had also recently visited us, and they have removed us from the non-compliance list in their last visit to our facility. So in fact, we have used this opportunity as a challenge to move the organization at other level, much higher level of compliance, so that we do not have this kind of issues coming up ever in future, because we have 3,000-4,000 people working in the organization, we have process and system. So we have more or less computerized all quality system. So it is like SAP in a financial world. Similar kind of an approach is there in quality system. It cannot be tinkered with.
So within a quarter you would think that the USFDA green flag would come in?
I honestly wouldn't know. We have just invited them. And we don't expect it happens in 3 months, but it may happen in next 2-3 quarters.
Alright, let me get Zahabia into this discussion as well. She's the MD of Wockhardt Hospital. Zahabia, there's a project that's very close to your heart, which is the 350-bed hospital that you're looking at in South Mumbai. Just tell us a little bit about it. What's your vision for the hospital business, and how long does it take for a hospital to break even?
So this hospital is really a new age facility that we've created. We have currently 9 hospitals across the group. This is of course the flagship. We've launched it very recently, formally launched it in November. It's been running for the last 2 or 3 months. I think the aspects of this hospital which are really new age is mainly, I think we have a relationship with Harvard Medical International, and so this relationship has been almost a 10 to 12 year long relationship where there's a lot of exchange of processes, systems, but in this hospital the relationship has moved to a completely different level, where we are actually having clinical exchanges of contemporary treatments, medicines, that kind of an approach. So with some of the consultants and doctors in South Bombay who are some of the finest in the country today, that kind of contemporary treatment approaches where we send our consultants there, the Harvard team comes here, and that's really I would say the core of this hospital, because doctors and the clinical treatments that you provide is the core of any hospital. So I think that's really the new age element of this hospital.
So in terms of investments or capex, how much has actually gone into these projects?
This hospital is roughly around 300 odd crores.
Okay. Well, we do want to ask you whether you would also do management of other hospitals and takeover of hospitals. We want to get the lowdown on the foundation as well. We have to take a quick break. We're back with a lot more questions to the Khorakiwalas.
CNBC-TV18, celebrating 15 years of leadership.
Welcome back to the show. It's been an ugly start to trade today. So the Sensex is down almost 300 points as we speak. But we are in our special show, The Descendants, where we do interview Gen Next of well-established companies, and we have been in conversation with the Khorakiwalas. In fact, before the break, I was speaking with Zahabia Khorakiwala, the MD of Wockhardt Hospitals, and she was telling me about the game plan as far as the hospital business is concerned. Zahabia, at any point, and no prompting, at any point, do you think that you would list Wockhardt hospitals?
Well, I don't think there's a plan in the immediate or medium term. I don't know about the long term. That's anybody's guess.
And what kind of growth do you expect in terms of the business itself, revenues, etc.?
So currently we are, strategically our geographies are Maharashtra and Gujarat. The objective would be to really dominate and create the maximum impact in those areas, not necessarily spread ourselves everywhere, and with now 9 hospitals, Bombay, we have 3 facilities now, South Bombay, North Bombay, as well as a smaller hospital at Vashi. So cumulatively we have about 750 odd beds now in Bombay. So Bombay takes a very important place really for the business. And Maharashtra, Gujarat, we have large hospitals doing well for the last 7, 8, 10 years. So we would look to strengthen that.
So then why wouldn't you look to list it anytime soon, sir?
I think we don't need to list it from what we have in plan.
Okay.
And second, we have earlier had the hospital, and we were also trying at that time to list it 5-7 years back. And the kind of interaction and other things, we felt that once you list the hospital, it gets more financially driven. And we want our hospital to be conceptually, clinically driven for the patient. And we don't want to compromise the quality of work and clinical outcome at any time. So it is the mindset you need to create for an organization which is important. And for that very reason, we are not looking at numbers, but we want to get into clinical excellence.
One person who's clearly not looking at the numbers in this set of 4 Khorakiwalas is Huzaifa. He is heading the foundation. How does this relate itself to the general medical business that your family runs, and what is the foundation's goal?
The foundation was set up in 2008, and that time earlier it was a CSR for 3 years before that, and then in 2008 we formed the foundation. One of the important goals of the foundation is to make a difference to the community in the areas of healthcare. So our biggest program in the foundation is our Mobile 1000 program, where we are operating around 100 mobile health vans across the country, and one mobile van gives the free primary healthcare to 25 villages, and per year it's 25,000 patients. So these 100 vans cumulatively give at the doorstep the free primary healthcare to 2.5 million Indians every year.
Every week?
Every year. 100 mobile vans, so 2.5 million per year. So basically it is a healthcare delivery, and primary healthcare is not there in Indian villages.
So is the CSR of both your companies, Wockhardt Limited and Wockhardt Hospitals, done through the foundation?
Primarily.
Okay. And now, Huzaifa, since all companies will have to do CSR, do you see many of them approaching you? So is the activity scaling?
As a foundation, we carry on the CSR of Wockhardt Group also, but we are also open to partnerships with other corporates and with other governments, state government and all. So we tie up with projects in sanitation like toilets. So we have built the bio toilets. It's an environment friendly toilet where the human waste goes to a bio tank which has a bacteria and converts to methane gas and water. So it's a 100% environment friendly disposal of human waste. And then in education we are doing e-learning, which is electronic learning. And we operate 24 Khel Mein toy libraries across Mumbai and in Delhi. And these give value-based education to primary school children. And the children come in the evening and they play with toys and books. So these are some of our programs on that thing.
Okay. Murtaza, I wanted to get you in on the core business itself. I mean, the one thing that has worried investors and analysts is the way your US business is under a cloud these days. Of course, because of the ongoing FDA issues at the plant, but also because now you've received a 483 for manufacturing plants in the US as well. Can you tell us, just in the next 1 year, how much of a drop should we expect at all, if at all, in the US generics business, and even margin-wise, are you seeing a contraction?
Till the FDA issues are actually resolved, I think this kind of a temporary setback in the business will be there in the US, and also partly in some of the other areas which are being serviced by the facilities. But I think in the last 15 months since we have had this issue, the organization has responded extremely positively, and in terms of remediation, correction, we have gone to a very different level of compliance and even operational excellence, I would say. And I think that is a journey that we have started. We are well past midway in that journey, and I think the response we are getting even from the regulators, the US and the UK, mainly the UK, has been positive, and we are in the right direction. I think it's only a matter of time before the issues are resolved, and once the issues are resolved, I think business will come back to normal.
Okay. So, Mr. Khorakiwala, what is the game plan once these permissions are in, or maybe they are on the way? What is the pipeline of therapeutic drugs? Say 2 years down the line, what will be the products investors will watch out?
Currently our effort is continuing. We continue to file the products. In fact, we have filed about 15-20 products this year also. and FDA is reviewing our files. So many of the products are ready to be approved, and it is just waiting for the compliance. So we believe that once we have the compliance in hand, we will receive for next 12 months a large number of product available for the US market. So in no way our effort on R&D has been diminished. In fact, it has been increasing. And I think that is what will bring about a change. We are a little under $1 billion now. We reached $1 billion, now it has dropped to a little under $1 billion. We should be back to $1 billion because we will do well next year in UK as well as other markets in the world. And also once we back to US, I think we should reach in less than 3 years double the turnover.
Okay, that's not bad. So I'm sure, I know that you are a veteran at answering this question, so I'm still going to ask it. Nevertheless, would you at any point look to sell your business? I know you've been through the worst times and you've not done it, but if you get a good deal?
No. My children are there, I have to take care of them now. And the only business we know how to run well is the healthcare.
Okay. So 5 years down the line, Mr. Khorakiwala, how will Wockhardt Limited look? How will Wockhardt Hospitals look and the foundation?
As I mentioned to you earlier, the whole objective is to do things differently and making a difference. So I'm sure that the foundation is already making a difference, but I think in years to come, I think it will make much greater impact and difference in the community we live in and we serve. As far as hospital is concerned, obviously South Mumbai is our first of the new kind of hospital, new age hospital, and we would establish some more hospitals in Mumbai and nearby areas.
5 years down the line listing, you think?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, I'm not going to give up on that one question. You haven't been approached by companies like Lupin or Roche or anyone?
I don't think we have been approached by any Indian companies.
Okay.
But continuously we get approached by global companies over last several years.
What do you tell them? Interest there?
What do you tell them?
We have generally very short conversation. But nowadays, I must say, last couple of years we have not been approached by anybody because everybody got the message loud and clear.
No, I still want your vision for Wockhardt Limited, which is the listed company and which millions of investors are listening to you. What is the vision for Wockhardt Limited? 5 years down the line.
5 years down the year, we will have our own research-based new drug products in the world market.
Will you stop India, sir? You're 95% abroad. Why no interest in the domestic market?
No, I don't think when we are 95% abroad, we are less important in India because the world market is so big. And we still have a strong presence, so we would be among the top 8 or 10 companies in India. So we will have a very strong presence in India. But we are very competitive and we believe that the world market is important. Just because you have 80% business in India, it doesn't mean you are doing well.
Okay. And what is that one decision that you regret taking earlier, back in the day during the 2008 period, whether it was, speculation in currency derivatives or anything else that you would never do again?
Obviously, not 2008. Earlier also we have been doing on this risk management through derivatives, and we did not have internal adequate control on that basically. It's not that we took the decision, it was wrong. We didn't have internal control, and then the financial crisis took place. So both came together. And that is where we had a challenging situation basically. And therefore we have now taken a call looking at all the aspects. So we don't touch derivatives irrespective of anything. And we have taken a board decision not to do it.
Murtaza has the last word.
And just to correct you, it's not that 95% of our business is outside India. About 30% of our business is in India.
Wockhardt Limited?
Wockhardt Limited. And my India team will be very disappointed to hear that 95% of our business is outside India. But India continues to remain a focus area for us. It's a fast growing market. And last year we have done well in the Indian business, and we will continue to do well over here.
Okay, and if the same Roche or some big multinational company came and offered you a blank check 5 years down the line, Murtaza, what would your reply look like?
We don't work for money.
Okay, that's actually a fitting reply. Sir, you have a great set of leaders here with you in Gen Next of Khorakiwala. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you to all four of you. Well, that's a wrap on this edition of Bazaar and this edition of The Descendants. You can, of course, catch this conversation again on YouTube, on Money Control, and we'll keep running it through the course of the day. But when we come back from the break, our focus will be back on the markets. Traders Only coming up for you after a short break.
CNBC-TV18, celebrating 15 years of leadership.